Suspense is arguably one of the most emotionally provoking tools used in cinema. Feeling anxious or uncertain is what keeps viewers on the edge of their seats. The American film director Alfred Hitchcock, otherwise known as the Master of Suspense, utilized this tool to create some of the most iconic films in Hollywood history. The most well-known one being Psycho, in which the antagonist of the film creates suspense in the infamous shower scene. Not all suspenseful moments in film are due to the antagonist. Suspense in a film might be not knowing whether a character will survive an accident, or whether or not a broken couple will get back together. Suspense can come from almost any aspect of a film, but when it's produced by the antagonist, it almost always proves more effective. Depending on how terrifying the antagonist is, suspense can be revolved around something as minuscule as a coin toss. Take a look at this scene from No Country for Old Men, where the Cohen brothers do just that.
How much?
69 cents.
And the gas?
Y'all getting any rain up your way?
What way would that be?
I seen you was from Dallas.
What business is it of yours? Where I'm from? Friendo?
I didn't mean nothing by it.
Didn't mean nothing.
I was just passing the time. If you don't want to accept that, I don't know what else I can do for you. Will there be something else?
I don't know. Will there?
From the antagonist's lack of understanding social cues, the clerk knows that he has some kind of psychological problem and becomes uneasy. At this point in the film, the viewers have already seen the antagonist murder several people and begin to think about the outcome of the current situation. In the next part of the scene, watch how intense the antagonist's eye contact is compared to the clerk's. Also, listen to the extent of information that the antagonist is able to learn about the clerk through questions. But the clerk does nothing about the antagonist and never once do his questions receive a legitimate response.
Is something wrong
With what?
with anything?
Is that what you're asking me? Is there something wrong with anything?
Will there be anything else?
You already asked me that.
Well, I need to see about closing now.
See about closing.
Yes, sir.
What time do you close?
Now, we close now.
Now is not a time. What time do you close?
Generally around dark, at dark.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Sir?
I said, you don't know what you're talking about. What time do you go to bed?
Sir?
You're a bit deaf, aren't you? I said, what time do you go to bed?
Somewhere around 9:30. I'd say around 9:30.
I could come back then.
Why would you be coming back? We'll be closed.
Yeah, you said that.
Well, I got to close now.
You live in that house out back.
Yes, I do.
You lived here all your life?
This is my wife's father's place originally.
You married into it.
We lived in Temple, Texas for many years. Raised a family there in Temple. We come out here about 4 years ago.
You married into it.
That's the way you want to put it.
I don't have some way to put it. That's the way it is. What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
The antagonist knows the majority of the clerk's life story, but the clerk knows literally nothing about the antagonist. The information that the antagonist knows puts him in a dominant role. Through this whole time, the viewer is left on an anxious cliffhanger as to how this exchange will end, suspecting the worst for the clerk. The way the Cohen brothers end it? Flipping a coin. The rising action is so intense that the climax actually works with a coin toss.
Sir?
The most you ever lost on a coin toss?
I don't know. I couldn't say.
Call it.
Call it.
Yes.
For what?
Just call it.
Well, we need to know what we're calling it for here.
You need to call it I can't call it for you. Well, it wouldn't be fair.
I didn't put nothing up.
Yes, you did. You've been putting it up your whole life. You just didn't know it. You know what date is on this coin?
No.
1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails. And you have to say, call it.
Well, look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
How's that?
You stand to win everything, call it.
All right. Heads, then.
The action itself is so anticlimactic, but after realizing that it will dictate whether the clerk lives or dies, it becomes one of the most exciting actions in the film. The Coens achieve this by cushioning the whole scene with the unknowingness of suspense. Sorry that I can't show you the end. That's just how suspense works. If you want to see what happens, give No Country for Old Men a watch. It's one of my personal favorites and has so much more to teach you.